Ted Hughes was born in Yorkshire. His father, William Hughes, was a carpenter who fought in the First World War. He was one of the only 17 survivors of an entire regiment which perished at Gallipoli. The family moved to Maxborough, a coal mining town in South Yorkshire, when Hughes was 7, and his parents took a newsagent's and a tobacconist's shop. In 1948, he won an open exhibition to Pembroke College, Cambridge. Before attending university, he did 2 years national service in the RAF. After leaving Cambridge, he worked as a rose gardener, night watchman, and a script writer for rank at Pinewood before becoming a teacher. He married the American poet Sylvia Plath in 1956, and the couple went to the USA in the following year. Hughes taught English and creative writing, and Plath taught literature at Smith College. After spending several months in the writers' colony of Saratoga Springs, the couple returned to England in December 1959. Hughes' first collection of poems, The Hawk in the Rain, was published in 1957, and its rigorous vernacular won immediate acclaim. Its term celebration of raw natural energies contrasted with the rational ironies of movement verse, and since the late 1950s, Hughes has been viewed as a nature poet. His appointment as Poet Laureate in 1984 sealed his essential shaman-like conception of his poetic mission and enabled him to speak out on environmental issues while celebrating royal weddings and babies. During a prolific writing career, Hughes has been regarded as a poet who writes about the natural world rather than society. By the feral forces, he celebrates or disguised metaphors for a series of historical struggles like Reformation, Industrial Revolution, and First World War. He is rooted like D.H. Lawrence in dissenting culture. Hughes follows Lawrence both as literary model and as a writer who attempts to abolish society by locating the self-justifying act of individual witnesses in a primordial wilderness. Hughes's primitivism embodies this wounded search for an original wholeness and forms the basis of the writing for children. His story, The Iron Man, is widely popular. He is a gifted children book writer. In his early poems, Hughes sometimes uses rhyme, but he does not use it, one could say, comfortably. Drawing on Walt Whitman and Robinson Jeffers, his verse line is more confident when unconstrained by the demands of formal rhyme or meter. His imagination is drawn to horizons, open spaces, the impacted bunching of strong monosyllables. Locating North America wilderness poetry in England, he expresses a type of Puritan striving, a visceral populism which scorns what Hughes has termed the crippled court artifice of polite speech. His second volume, that was published in 1916, that is Lupercal, aims to challenge the cultural dominance of Southern English culture by designing heroically English figures on recognizably Yeatsian principles. In his verse, Hughes has constructed a myth in which the Germanic, Puritan, masculine is eternally at war with the Celtic, Catholic, and feminine. The driven, grueling texture of his poem is intensely Puritan. That is, they are written to the moment in a type of absolute present tense. It is seen that Hughes's poem do not develop. Instead, he appears to have been endlessly redrafting the same poem. His visionary spontaneity is a form of born age evangelical earnestness which is integral to Yorkshire descent. In this fascination with an elemental energy, his poems may also be read as protests against the post-war consensus, which was challenged by the election of a radical conservative government in 1979. Moortown is Hugo's most assured volume. It was published in the same year. The poem in the opening sequence, the poems that we find there are elegies for an island economy which is self-reliant and not at the mercy of foreign politicians. The reprint of the volume's opening sequence, which was published in 1989, insistently, these poems enact the means by which individual enterprise reclaims a natural wilderness. Paradoxically, they also express the desire to occupy a primal natural world before industrial servitude. Such a wish is an expression of Hugo's primitivist imagination. This celebration of what Nietzsche's term the free pass without ethics. The volume is dedicated to the memory of Jack Orchard, whose daughter, Carol, Hughes married in 1970 after Sylvia Plath had committed suicide. Hughes has won many literary awards, and in 1968 he set up the Alwar Foundation to encourage new writing. Let's come to the most important volumes. The Hawk in the Rain, Lupercal, Woodrow, Govt, Remains of Element, Moortown. Then you have Moortown Diary, Wolf Watching. In 1992, he published Rain Charm for the Joshi and the other laureate poems, and a prose work, Shakespeare and the Goddess of Being. As you know, Ted Hughes became Poet Laureate in 1984 and he died in 1998. This is all for today. Thank you.